Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we talk about Pinterest stock, and we talk about Pinterest stock because it has joined the 100% club, and it has been able to now join the list of the stocks like JD.com, Tesla and Microsoft that have brought in 100% return for me. So it was able to do that achievement on Wednesday, I believe it was. It went up to 100% return on my portfolio, and yeah, it joins the long list of stocks that are building up there, which is fantastic. And I feel like this is a very good video to make because I know I've got quite a few people that are interested in Pinterest, are also shareholders in Pinterest, and also because of the current valuation, like what my thoughts are on Pinterest. And obviously as well is sometimes I'm a little bit guilty on this channel of quite often like talking about the next stock. So stocks go down, I'm like, oh, go buy this, or stocks are averaging down or averaging up, and you're like talking about some of the stocks that are currently happening right now. But sometimes it's really good to like reflect on stocks that you've invested for a while and that are starting to bring the rewards in. I mean like Microsoft is a stock that I'm currently up 100% on, and I just don't talk about it because it's just doing its thing now, whereas like the stocks that are taking the headlines are the ones that are in the moment now, where we're planning ahead, we're planning for them 2 to 5 year rewards of 100% return. Your Greggs and other companies like that, in mode, who at the moment it's always about what stocks are hot right now, but you never take that time to reflect on companies that you did this with 2, 3, 4 years ago, and now you're seeing the rewards. And it's one of those that sometimes it's really good just to take a step back, because if you don't ever take a step back to look at what you've done in the stock market, sometimes it's quite easy that you have a stock that goes down 10-20%, you're like, is it worth it or something like that? And sometimes you kind of like lose your head maybe a little bit, or you like puts you in a bit of a bad mood. But it's really good to look back at your successful ones. And sometimes some of you guys might not be at that point. You might be a new investor where you're not had the chance to see the rewards come in just yet, but someday in the future you will have this point where you look back at some stocks. I look at JD.com right now, that's up 280% in my portfolio, nearly 300% at one point. And it's like looking back and going, all that work you put in, it's great just to look at it now and see them rewards. That hard work has paid off for you. And I guess this is kind of, first of all, I thought I'd open up with that about Pinterest now joining the 100% return club. It's a great thing. It's currently one of the 100% return clubs that I've currently got open. Obviously sometimes some of them do get sold off, and I take that profit and move on, but at the moment I've not sold any shares in Pinterest. Same with Microsoft, I still hold a lot of shares. I did trim it slightly. JD.com that we're up 208% on. Same again, I did trim some position, but I'm still holding quite a bit of that. And it's really nice to look back on some of them positive returns and that work you put in and seeing the rewards out there. Now, I did think about actually like which stock could be the next 100% return member, and I actually didn't really know. I think like potentially Workhorse is doing fantastic. If he gets the UPS contracts, I mean that could be there. The UK stock side of it, there's a few close ones as well, I guess. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, generally where the market moves will probably move these stocks a little bit as well, but it's good to see another stock actually joining this list that has got 100% return for me. Now, with that over with, we'll go on to Pinterest and we'll take a look at Pinterest itself, because obviously the stock has gone up. I made a video something like half a year ago, maybe something more than that, talking about, I think Pinterest was like $20 at the time, and I was talking about where Pinterest would be in 2 to 5 years, and I said it would be a $40 stock. Obviously it's got there a lot quicker than what I thought, but generally I did think it would get to a $40 stock nearly at some point, which it nearly is right now, and I'm sure it will get there within the next year probably, especially if it carries on the earnings that it did last time, which were absolutely fantastic. But we'll just take a look at Pinterest and see what's going on with the company as well. So if you don't know this company, the ticker symbol is PINS, and Pinterest basically is a social media play. Like I say, if you want to kind of get like more of an in-depth video on Pinterest, go check. I've got like 2 previous videos on Pinterest which do both go into quite a lot of detail. I'm just kind of focus on today like the current situation, and it's currently trading around about $36-37. Now when we look at the company chart for a year, we can see that it has kind of drifted down since the COVID lows, where it did kind of touch like $10, even around that range, and very cheap prices and a very big bargain at them sort of prices. And obviously since the $10, I mean, I'm up 100%, but if you did catch the exact bottom, you know, you're up even more than that, which is fantastic if any of you guys did manage to do that. But obviously we can see that the stock has gone up quite a lot, and it at the moment is at 52-week highs. So this is always risky when buying at 52-week highs, especially when it's been on a run as good as this. One thing that stands out is the 22 billion market cap, which has obviously gone up quite a bit. And because it's not exactly profitable right now, which is quite always tricky to work out growth companies, it's always good to kind of look at what's kind of going on with the price to sales ratio with it being a growth company. And you can see that it did drop down to like 5 or 6 when it was $10, which is quite low for this company. And obviously now you can see that it's gone up to about 17, which is quite high. You know, for something like this, a growth stock, even 17 is quite a high kind of price to sales ratio, you know. So I would say that I would like to see the price to sales ratio come down a little bit to like the 10 range maybe, and that would kind of signal that it's kind of a little bit undervalued. So if the price stands still and then the revenue catches up with it, that would be a lot better. Or if the stock was dipped, that would probably be a bit better situation. So for me, I mean, if you were not in the stock and you were looking to get in, personally, I would say that I would at least try and wait to get into like the $25 range would be pretty good. Like kind of pre-earnings where it had the massive jump. So if you can get it if you can manage to hold off and maybe pick it up for 25, that would seem a lot better prices for me. But when we do look at the company and also what other analysts are offering, we can see here the high is $50, which is 30% upside. Currently the median is 4.8%, $39. So kind of in average, you know, everyone's kind of expecting the price to stay around this range. And we see the lowest analysts maybe need to upgrade their price targets here, but $18 at 51%. So we kind of see that the stock's kind of trading just about around the right sort of price right now. So it is like I say, it's a pretty fair valuation. You know, you're not getting an undervalued company right now. And we can see here that it currently does have 11 buy ratings, 2 outperform ratings, 14 hold ratings, 0 underperform, and 1 sell rating. So that's probably the person that had it back at $18. And on the earnings per share front, we can see 2008, 2019, 2020, 2021. We can see that always Pinterest has grown the profit in the right direction, and it should be profitable this year. If not, it will definitely be profitable next year. And we can see on the sales side of it as well, the growth from 2018 with 755 million sales, 1 billion sales, 1.4 billion sales, and then 2 billion sales, which is absolutely fantastic revenue growth. And same on the profit side, there's nicely growing into profit as well. And obviously as well with Pinterest, let's not forget the balance sheet as well, which is a fantastic looking balance sheet. Now, my bull case on Pinterest has always been that they need to ramp up the adverts that they currently have, especially in Europe. And if they do that, they'll have a lot more revenue coming in, because a lot of platforms or the Pinterest platform that's in Europe is currently not monetized. And when that starts ramping up, we'll see profit and earnings grow. And at the moment, that hasn't exactly happened. We're still kind of like a year or two away from when that's going to start kicking in. So I think we'll start to see that really reflect on the profit and the earnings. And like I say, I still see a lot of growth on this one. So it's hard for me to sell out when the growth that I've seen still hasn't come into factor yet. And sure, the price might be reflecting it slightly, but I still think that this stock will be in the $40 range in 2 years' time, maybe even pushing towards the $50 range. So for me, I still see a lot of upside. It's one of those where there's not that much upside if you weren't below, you know, $25 range. You know, if you buy it now and you hold to like $40, you're kind of only getting like 30-40% upside. And that goes down to you as an investor. Do you want 30-40% returns? You know, personally, I go for 100% returns, so that wouldn't be a good opportunity for me, but some of you guys might like that. But for me, there's not as much upside right now, so I would have to wait, if I wasn't in it, to get it below $25 range. That would seem quite attractive to me, like I say, because at the moment I would only see like 40% upside from these sort of prices. But like I say, as an investor that is, you know, the cost base is quite low, you know, low teens, low 20s. Even if the stock goes up to $40, I'll still see, you know, I'll be up then, you know, 150% upside on my company, maybe even a little bit more than that. So I still see decent upside for me to keep holding them shares right now, because like I said, when the advertising in Europe kicks in for this platform, it'll be amazing on them numbers. So I'm still happy to hold this one right now, but at the moment, I won't buy it, and I'm not buying it at all. If it, like I say, if it does get below the $25 range, then we start talking where I could be tempted to go buy some, and I think it might be a good opportunity if you don't have any. So that's kind of my overall opinions with Pinterest right now. Like, I'm happy to leave it run. But yeah, fantastic company. And like I say, sometimes I think it's always good to look back at some of the successful companies that you do buy into, and you get them gains, and, you know, that game plan you have in place of, like, you know, 2 to 5 years, 100% return, and it happens and it comes in. So I thought I'd share that one with Pinterest, joining the 100% return club. So I do hope you enjoyed it. And as always, guys, if you can subscribe, it'd be absolutely amazing. If you haven't liked and you made it all the way to the side, if you can like the video, that would be cool as well. And I'll see you in the next video.